Alright. Yeah, so we're gonna start with this from Saturday.
Pushback.
Oh, nice. We're on our way to the VEX competition, so we'll see how it goes.
First, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to everyone who helped make today possible.
Which are the old foundations. So thank you.
Okay. Team West.
Referee, whenever you're ready.
Oh.
Use. Dude, put it.
So this is your own design, eh?
Yes.
We copied from like other schools.
Parts we copied them.
Yeah, parts of them we
Some parts we took from other schools, some parts we took from like.
So this is the arm to like push it out, yeah?
Yeah.
And then what does this do?
This is like middle these like when there's like balls in the middle,
Yeah.
like the kind of like the middle height one, like it goes like this, like the pneumatics, and then like you just bump into the balls. And then
I like your gears, so that just makes it the equal torque on all the gears, eh? That looks real cool.
We got 6 motors for the drivetrain. Like
We have a lot of extra motors.
you're allowed to use 8. Like
So you can have 8 motors in total.
no, there's like a power limit. Like
No, but we have 2 over here, so
yeah,
we have
6 and then
6 in
8.
the drivetrain.
Like 8 for the total, like everything. 2 in the drive.
I'm just gonna skip. So it's pretty good. And then let me see here.
Where's the competition?
This was at NIN.
On Saturday, so just doing it
So I know that the robot ECA, I run the robot ECA every Friday, and I think lots of people would like to do that. So if you would like to,
I do the computer science.
if you would like to do robot next year or after the Hanja, after the Chinese New Year, we'll also have. Okay, so basically this week we're going to be reviewing for grade 11 for our final exams. Okay, so the final exams. Yeah.
We need to review.
Yes, I gave you that little review sheet. So have your notebook. Today I'm going to review about Unit 1, but your exam will be on Unit 0, Programming, okay? There'll be at least a page about programming.
Okay, so what I should write?
We're going to have data as well. So data is going to be on the exam. Unit 2, which is computer systems and logic gates. And then the last thing is your networking. Okay? So it's 单元. It's 4 units all the way from unit 0 to that. Okay? Now, if you look on here, I have this thing called mock exams, and I will be adding our mock, these practice questions I will put in here, but we have the piece of paper. So pull out your note. We're going to take a note about programming concepts. So I put the schedule on the board here. Monday, we're going to review the code, okay? Tomorrow, we're going to review about data. Wednesday, we're going to review about hardware software. Thursday is assembly code, and then Friday's networking. That's all the units that we will do, okay? So each day we'll break into a small piece, okay? So pull out your notebook. We're going to do a quick review. So our exam, when is our exam?
Next week.
This is A level. CS, computer science. Yeah, our exam is on January the 26th, 27, 28. I'm not 100% sure. Yes, the title is Exam Review, A-Level Computer Science. And then what is today? Oh, today's the 19th. Today's the 19th. So the topics on the exam, again, I'm just gonna write it down. So grade 11, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this is the exam review week, okay? So this is kind of like the schedule. Today we're gonna do coding. Okay, there's gonna be 1 page on coding, okay? This is this basic coding, those things come from paper 2, okay? And then the rest is paper 1. Tuesday we're gonna talk about the data, then we'll do hardware, software. Thursday is about assembly code. And then Friday is about networking. Okay, so in this 45 minutes, it's going to be about 45 minutes, we're going to talk about coding, and then each day this week we're going to be on these topics. Again, this is paper 1. Okay, it's not including database, mail database, just these topics here. And this is a few topics from paper 2. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Are you ready? So the coding basics, can you have a look? I gave you a review worksheet. What are some of the topics for coding? That's a piece of paper. Can you read what is on unit 0? The question number 5 there. Can you see question number 5? It says programming basic. What are some of the topics that are on the test?
Variables.
Yes, we have variables. Okay, 继续. Variables, what else?
Loops.
We have loops.
Conditional statements.
Conditional statements.
Functions. Imports. File handling.
We have functions and procedures, imports, and then file handling and arrays. This is basic programming skills, okay? In semester 2, we're gonna go more deep. So today we're going to talk about this stuff here, about the variables, loops, conditional statements, functions, procedures, imports, files, and this. Okay? So just in your notebook, let's 我们开始. Okay? So let's first review in programming what are the different what are the different variable names? Variables. Can you tell me what are the different types? For example, if I have hello, what is the name of this variable? Do you remember how we have different types? Let's write down the types. We have integer. We have float. Let's write down all the names. Integer, float, string, Boolean, integer, float, string, Boolean, char for character, and then date. These are like the different. Date is really included in databases, so I'm going to exclude that. We can talk about that some other time. Let's give an example of each of these variable types. So you need to know how many variable types we have. We have, I think, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to know these 5, 6. You don't need to really know that's for databases. Okay, what is the integer? Int. Are you too hot? Can I turn off the 空调?
No hot.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off the 空调. 有点热. I injured myself on the weekend playing basketball, so 我脚疼. Okay, give me a 举个例子 of an integer. Integer is a number. What kind of number?
1 to 10.
1 to 10 can be, yes, also 0, done that. Okay, so write down. Integer is whole number. Whole number. For example, 0 is a whole number, -2 is a whole number, 10. These are examples of integer. Okay? You need to be able to identify the different variable types. Float. What is an example of a float? You can also look back. This is Fushi, so we can look back about the programming. Do you know how we took the programming note? So you click hands in the notebook. Okay? What is float? If you're not too sure, just say I'm not too sure, and then I'll give you the not too sure. Float or decimal? 3.14. If it has the 点, it means it's a float. Okay? The reason floating point, they actually take up more space, and so it's important to be able to convert from float to int because integers they take up less space because they're a whole integer. Okay, because they can be a number between 0. I'm not. It depends on the language there, but I know with Arduino it's 0 to 255. But yeah, so there's a different size that you can have. String. What is string? Can you give me an example of a string? What does string mean? String is words. For example, hello, and it's represented with the quotation marks. Okay, that's an example of a string. How about Boolean? Boolean. Do you remember Boolean?
No.
Boolean is true or false. 对还是不对? Okay? So an example is capital false or true. And then char, character. Character is a single letter. Or in China, it would be a single word, I suppose. For example, A. This is a char. And then date, you would have day, month, and year. This is used on the records and things like that, but we don't have to do that. So today would be the 19th of January 2026. That's an example of a date. So you need to know your variable types. That's really important. That's the thing. Can I check that down? Meiwenti? So variables, you need to know variable types. Okay. Now, in pseudocode, let's just show you a couple examples how to make a variable. A variable, we also have variable names, right? For example, my name, this is called a variable. And then in Python, you'd put equal sign, and then you'd put quotations because my name is a word. And this, my name is called Mr. Newson. That's my name, right?
Yeah.
But this is...
I don't write Mr. Just write name.
You can write Ched or what have you. This is in Python. Now, on the exam, we don't use Python. We use this other code called pseudocode. Now, pseudocode is very similar to Python, except you use capitals. And to make this, we actually have to declare. And so this is what pseudocode, it'd be declare, and then you put the variable name, and then we would put the type. And then the type name, we actually have to write down the type. That's why we have these different variable types. So in this type, this is name is a string. Okay? And then to assign it, they go like this, name, and they use the arrows, right? And then they would put Mr. Newson in here. Mr. Newson. Newson. Okay? So they use, the key differences here is they use arrows, and they have to the type, and you have to declare. I think it should be, it could use of. Sometimes they use OF. Some sort of variable type. Okay? Now, this is the kind of code that they show on the exams. This is called pseudocode. Pseudocode. Now, pseudocode is like, it's not a programming language, but it uses English and it uses arrows and things like that. Okay? So you should understand those things there. Okay, so variables are done. We're going to go on to the next topic is loops. What is a loop? I'm just going to scroll over here. Whoop. Oh, that's so nice. I really like this. What is loop? What does loop mean? This is the second topic. What are loops or loops? Can you look back in your notes? Do you have any notes about the programming? What can I say? So I think programming will find out, right? Huh? Oh, you don't have? You put it in here. So I think if we go through here, we should be able to see, like different programming. Right here, we have. Oh yeah, let's talk about inputs and outputs. Just before we do that, I want to quickly.
Input is not. Print is the output.
Yes, let's just quickly put that. We have input and output. I forgot about this. So input / output. Now, in Python, if you want to out something, you would go like print, and then you could put the name, right? But in pseudocode, what they do is print becomes output. Okay? Okay? So this is the difference between input and output. And then the input in Python, for example, my name is equal to input. And then you can say, please enter name. Now, in pseudocode, we would, if we already have name declared, the name, it would be the opposite here. I think it would be go input name. We're going to use capital. We could say input, and then you could put name. Okay? So this is kind of the difference between pseudocode and that. Okay? It uses the same keyword, but one is capitalized. One's capitalized there. Okay. That's good. Now let's go back into loops. What is a loop? What does loop mean? This is a loop. What does a loop mean? Something that goes around and around, right?
Circulate.
It's a circular thing. Loops are really good functions, basically, that are used for counting. Okay? If I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, done. I'm going to, this is called repeat. If I have anything to repeat, you're going to use a loop. Now we have two types of loops. Let's write down the two types of loops. One type of loop is called a for loop. Do you remember the for loop? And the other type of loop is called a while loop. Okay? Other word for loop is called iteration. So loop is the same to iterate or to repeat. Okay? Repeat is the same thing as a loop, kind of like a loop or iteration. Now, it's important to understand that these loops are a little bit different. One has the variable that is declared before the loop, and one has that. Anyways, so for loop is good when we know the number of iterations or of repeats. Okay? While loop is when we don't know. It's based on condition. Okay? But they can both work for the same thing. You can both count with a for loop, you can both count with a while loop, but the function is a little bit different. Okay, so let's show the syntax of for loop. If I want to count, let's say we want to count from 0 to 10. I want to count from 0 to 10. Ling ER senses down to shirt. Okay? How would we do that? What in Python you'd write is for I in range. And then in here, we put the start number. The start number is 0. And this is the end number. But we need to actually go one more than the stop number. Okay? So we would put 11. And then in here, you could put the step. For example, look at step 1, or we could just leave it out. And then you need to have colon. You see, Python, it has colon that we have to put. And then right here, I could print I. This code, if I were to put this in Python, what is this going to print to the screen? We're going to start at what number here?
0 to 11.
So what is it going to print? It's going to print 0, 1, dun, dun, dun. It's going to print 0, 1, 2, 3. It's going to keep on do. It's a repeat. What number is it going to stop at? It's going to actually stop at 10. Okay? It's going to stop at 10. Cool? Can you copy that down? And so for loops are really good for counting. And you can go up and down. If I wanted to go down, this is from 0 to 10. If I wanted to go from 10 to 0, I would just put 10, and then you have to do one less than that, and to -1, and then I would put by a step, -1. This is the count step, okay? So you can count up and down. I could 开始是10, and then end at -1, but that means that. And then this means 减一 means it's going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 等等. Okay, so we can count up and down. Now, in pseudocode, it's a little bit different. What happens is they use capital letters. They would say for, let me just, we do have the pseudocode functions here, okay? So I just want to just double check here. We have arrays. We want iteration. We have types. Okay. So in here, we have same thing. We could say I. That's fine. And then what happens is when we don't use brackets. There's no brackets. And then we could put the range. If I wanted to go 0 to 10, you could go 0, and then you just go 2, and it will actually go to that number here. Okay? And then in here, let me just erase. It's going to be output I. That's going to print I. And then in here, we would just go next I. Okay? So he's a little bit 不一样，但是的上法是一样的。Okay? That's the pseudocode. Cool? So that's how to do a for loop.
4 is I 0 to 10. Output I is like print 0 to 10.
Yes, because this is a variable that's going to store the number. So 刚刚开始是0, so I 是0. 然后 the next I 是加1, so that means that you have to include the next.
I write it okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, while loop is based on condition. Now, it's important to understand condition. Condition means we have some symbols. So we can say if something's equal
To what?
Equal, greater than, smaller than, or less than, not equal to.
Okay.
Now, in pseudocode, the symbols are a little bit different. Okay, so let's just show you the difference. In pseudocode, the equal sign is use one equal sign. Bigger is the same, less is the same. Not equal to is this symbol here. Okay? So on the exam, we use this idea right here, but I'll show you both. It's on the exam. This is an exam code. Cool. So let's do an example. This has a pre-declaring of the variable before the loop begins. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with Python. We'll do Python on the left. We're on while loop. So I'm gonna while loop. While loop, what happens is we have a variable. I is equal to 0. And then what happens is while, let's do the count. While I is less than 11, and I have to have this maha. I'm going to print I. Okay, there we go. This is the same code as up above. This is Python. It's going to print 刚刚开始 I is 0. So when it first goes through the very first iteration, if this is true, it's going to do the cycle. If it's not true, it's going to 跳. It's going to exit. Okay? So is 0 less than 10? 对还是不对？ 0比 it's true. Therefore, we're going to print 0. Agree? Then what we have is I is going to add.
How was it operate again?
This way.
How was it operate?
I need to put I is equal to I plus 1. I need to add because this doesn't automatically increment. Yes, if it's true, it does the code inside the loop. So 0比11少，对不对？
Yes.
So I'm going to 打印0, and then right here, I is going to equal to I 加1. That means I'm going to add 1. Right now we have 1. Is 1 less than 11? 对还是不对？
对。
对. That means I'm going to print out 1. And then I'm going to 加1, it's going to be 2. And then it'll be 3, 4, 等等, until we get to 11. Is 11 less than 11? Is this true or false? 11比11少吗?
False.
This is false. 如果 it's false, it's going to exit the loop. It's not going to do. Okay? And therefore, the last number is going to print, in this case, is 10. Okay? This is what the key difference is. We have a pre-variable. Okay? We have to declare the I before the loop occurs. Okay. Let's do the pseudocode. So in pseudocode, it's the same idea. If you have a variable declaring I, I'm going to set it to 0. And then it goes while, but it's capitalized. I don't really like writing capitalized. While, we don't really need brackets, while I is less than 11. Okay? I'm going to output I. Let me change the color so you know that this is I. Output I. And then in here, I could write next I. That means it's going to add. And then right here, I'm going to end my while loop. This is the pseudocode for while loop. Okay? 有点不一样. The key difference is we have some 书写 symbols that we use. If it's true, if this statement is true, we do the thing. If it's false, we 跳起来. That's the while loop. Okay? Okay, I'm going to sign that off that we're done reviewing. What's this, my topics here? So, we finished loops. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
We finished conditional statements. Oh, conditional statements. That's where we are right here. Conditional statements, functions, and then we have imports and stuff. Okay? Now, conditional statements is a very similar idea. We say if something's equal to something, done. Okay, so let's just quickly rate step 3. We call conditional. Conditional. That's right. Conditional statements. That's the 如果. It's the if statements or the case statements. Okay? So what happens in the if statement is if blah 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 is true, it's going to do the code in here. This is the, for example, if A is bigger than B. Again, this still has conditions. And the conditions are basically the same as these conditions right here. You can test if something is equal, greater than or equal to, less than, or not equal to. Okay? So it's the 一样的想法. The only difference is on the pseudocode, it says 如果, if. It uses the big things. For example, if A bigger than B, it's going to still do your code here. You can write your code. Okay, same idea. So that's the if statements. And they use this little triangle if you do it. This is the if statement. If something is true or false, it's like a branch in your code. It's to make a decision. Okay, that's the conditional statement. The 如果. 如果 A is bigger than B, or 如果 that. If it's true, it's going to do the code. If it's not true, so if this is true, it will do. If it's false, what is it going to do? It's going to not do. It's going to skip to the next part of the code. Okay? Yeah, it's going to 跳. Okay.
This is the coding.
Yes, this is all coding. The 如果. Okay, can I sign off the conditional statements?
Okay.
All right.
About my note, is it enough like this? This is my note.
Good.
Is it enough?
Put in the 如果. 如果 A bigger than B.
Let me have a look where is 如果.
I will scroll down here. Just copy this.
Sure. If A greater than B, code. If A greater than B, true or false. True or false.
Yeah.
You code. And if it's false, skip.
Yeah, it's gonna skip.
Great.
Oh wait, so that's the end of this class. Okay. Your homework there, Ched, is I want you to 复习 about functions. I will spend a couple minutes next class.
Where is the function?
You have to look in your notebook, or you can look on Teams. Okay, these are
my notebook.
we haven't
Which one
finished.
is it? I'm not sure which one.
I'll show you where. Look here. What we're gonna do, Ched, look here. You're gonna go on Teams. You click on Unit 0. If you click on Unit 0,
This is OneNote.
yes. On OneNote, it's the same as Teams. 一样的. What you're going to do is you're going to click on 0.5 and just double check about that PowerPoint, about functions. We did if statements. We did the for loops. We did the while loops. You need to review about arrays.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you just make your own notes and show me tomorrow. That's your homework.
Array.
Okay? So your homework is to review
the functions.
Review functions and make 0.5 and arrays in your own notebook. Make your own notes. Okay, I'll ask you some questions next class. That's it. Okay, thank you. Have a